All right, thank you very much, Tui, Mohan, and Mimi for that amazing panel. Can we give our panelists another round of applause for that very, very exciting segment? Okay, so before we start, my name is Kishore. I am part of Plug and Play. I look after investments in sustainable cities and deep tech. Happy to chat with you guys after this session. Now, we will now be moving on to the second half of our day, and we have some exciting stuff lined up for you guys as part of the Sustainable Cities segment. So first up, we'll be starting with a quick fireside chat, and then we will be moving on to the startup pitches on the topic of sustainable cities. So without further ado, let us now put our hands together to welcome our exciting lineup of amazing panel speakers for the fireside chat, who will be sharing their key insights on the role of startup partnerships in corporate decarbonization. To take us through this conversation, we have Mr. Utkarsh Mishra, the Global Innovation Portfolio Lead at Hero MotoCorp, and Ms. Rosalind Chua, the Head of Digital Farming Asia at Bayer. Moderating this panel, we will be having our very own Senior Associate of Sustainable Cities at Plug and Play, Ms. Chandni Jagannathan. Over to you, Chandni.
Thank you, Kishore. Okay, thank you so much. It's so lovely to be here. So yes, I'm Chandni. I'm the Senior Ventures Associate here looking after sustainability. Joining me here is Rosalind from Bayer. She looks after digital farming in Asia. And then we also have Utkarsh, who's a Global Innovation Portfolio Lead here. So as my colleague Kishore mentioned, you have so many corporates who are trying to be more innovative, who are trying to accelerate their innovation readiness. What we're going to delve into a little bit more in this fireside chat is, once as a corporate, you've already identified the technologies that you want to work with. Maybe you've even started to pilot the first few startup technologies in your corporate assets. What we want to really dive into further now is, what happens in the long term? How do corporates navigate scaling up these startup technologies into maybe, larger unit sizes and so on? So I guess firstly, I would love to ask, maybe starting with you, Rosalind, in your experience, how did you go about creating a win-win situation when it comes to scaling up innovative startups in your decarbonization projects?
Thank you. And maybe a quick introduction. As you all know, Bayer is a 150-year-old company. It's a 40 billion business across pharmaceuticals, consumer goods, like products like aspirin, as well as agriculture, where I'm in that business unit. And to put that into context, right, digital farming is an 11-year-old business unit in Bayer. So we're really a young unit inside Bayer. So maybe talking about why did the company set up a digital farming unit, and why is that separate from the core business? So I think the whole goal around this is we realize agriculture is shifting away from, I would say, products, inputs, even beyond yield, to something around broader outcomes, food quality, decarbonization. I mean, agriculture takes up 40% of our Earth's land, and we contribute more than 20% of the greenhouse gas emissions. And so it's really, agriculture has to be part of the solution for all of us, and not just for agriculture. And when we realize this, if you really want to change agriculture, you have to change the farmer. I mean, from a farmer practice standpoint, you have to change the land, the field, the soils, the crop. You have to change how food is sold. And it all has to be in sync. And that's when we realize that, if we try to do this ourselves, this is going to take us, another 150 years? And I don't think we can wait 150 years for, I would say, decarbonization and making agriculture more sustainable. And so that's really the premise. What we've also learned working with startups or being a startup ourselves or, acquiring startups, so I personally have been in this unit since 2015, is that we are very slow and slow in decision making. Or you talk to 20 people and you don't really know when the decision's gonna come. And so there's just friction, right? And then the second piece is, I think startups feel like they always have to fit, they're like a square peg in a round hole, but they don't even know like what exactly the company's looking for. And so one of the things I think we've learned and what we did is we actually are a ring fence unit that directly reports to the CEO. People on the ground serving our farmers are 2 levels below our CEO. I mean, that's how flat our unit is compared to the broader company. And we've also decentralized a lot of the decision making. So even partnerships is not decided by me, it's decided by my team on the ground. So those are just some of the learnings that for us helped us and accelerated our journey in the last 10 years.
Thank you. And Utkarsh, what about yourself?
Okay, so a quick intro and thanks. It's good to be here. I represent Hero MotoCorp. Those who don't know Hero MotoCorp, it's world's largest two-wheeler manufacturer. We are present in roughly about 47, 48 countries, with consumer base of 116 million bikes sold over last 40 odd years. Now, when the entire conversation about decarbonization, sustainability started, people tend to have that the very first culprit of this is anyways going to be automobile. That might not be the true case when you look up the data anyway, but then even after that, we cannot escape with the fact that automobile as an industry has its own contribution when it comes to air pollution largely. And when in cities like Delhi, from where I come from, at this time of the year, it gets really bad because of certain areas, and maybe agriculture is one. Agriculture is one, not blaming, but agriculture is one of the major factor behind it, the stubble burning that happens and all of it. So in order to decarbonize, in order to see how we can collaborate with startups, there are many things that we are doing from a corporate innovation standpoint. Starting with the structure itself, taking that point ahead, there is a council which has been created directly with the chairman, and I report to that council, and then the team works with me. So that decision making is pretty easier for us. What we have learned over past few years, that in the industry as established as automobile, it's very difficult for startups to become vendor at the end, become the suppliers in the larger game. So to enable this, obviously we have very soon we will rolling it out globally, a property called Hero for Startups. But in India, we are also rolling it. We have already rolled this out globally. We will also work on supplier innovation as a partner-enabled program, where if any startup feels that they have a capability of supplying to the volume that we have already made it public, feel free to directly reach out to us. There is no DSE, there is no long. I was hearing someone yesterday of a story about Daimler. We have done something like that. You don't have to fill all those 87 pages of requisition form. There is a small form, fill it out. Our team will reach out to you. If there is synergies, we'll straight away work with the startups. So yeah, in terms of collaboration, from sustainability angle, very soon we would be coming up with something called Hero Changemaker, where globally we would just call anyone who is solving for air pollution or larger sustainability objectives anywhere globally, we would be happy to collaborate with them in terms of any resources that they need to solve for those respective cities. So yeah.
Thank you. So, it's always wonderful to see, so many exciting plans, not just in the present, but also in the future, about additional decarbonization strategies that you have and how innovative you can make them. Since we already touched on, I guess, a few learnings, maybe what I'd also like to ask is, looking back, in hindsight, what would you say was something that you did really well, or something that your team did really well from a strategic standpoint?
Yeah, I think there's two aspects. I think from a portfolio choice standpoint, one thing we did well, and that's why digital farming could last 10 years in a big corporate, is we picked the most strategic use case for us, the most strategic problem to solve. Because typically in big companies, right, when they're trying something new, they're like, well, why is this super small in terms of the P&L? And after 3 years, someone loses interest and then it gets killed. So one thing Bayer did is really pick the number one pain point. Let's work on corn, right? That's our biggest bread and butter. That's our biggest crop business today. And how can we transform corn? So that would be my one advice, especially to corporates, right? If you pick small use cases, you'll forever be small. I mean, any new thing you develop will forever be small. But I would say pick the number 2, number 3 that can really make the highest impact, the boldest impact. And then the rest of the organization will follow suit in terms of believability. So I think that's one thing we did really well. The second is, I think we've found a way to really empower the startups we either acquire or partner with. Because the worst case is, you acquire a startup and you lose the talent, and the value is always in the talent. So I would say we have pretty good retention rate, not only on technology, but also on founders and startups. I mean, just here in Asia, half of my team are startup founders. I mean, they come from external. My engagement score in my team is 4.2 out of 5. It's the highest in the entire region. So those kind of elements, the culture elements, is super important. And kind of the organization needs to be also prepared to let that thinking change you and not force your own culture into the startups that you're partnering with. So I would say those are the two aspects, but from a portfolio perspective as well as the culture perspective, to really drive sustainable value.
For us, there are 3 things I would like to count. The first one is partnership. When we started 40 years back, the entire establishment of the organization was based on the partnership, and those who are from India will agree to this. Honda came together, and initially it was called Hero and Honda coming together, Hero Honda. Eventually, the demerger happened in 2011, and since then, the different types of partnerships have taken us ahead. We have recently, 3 years back, partnered with Harley, and in India, Harley is now being sold together with Hero, so it's Hero and Harley now we are selling. People from US might know another startup called Zero. So Zero is a premium bike segment when it comes to EV. We are solving the bike penetration in the country, like in Southeast Asia, in Malaysia, and different countries along with India, with the penetration of bike with Zero. So partnership is one. We have largest charging infra network, with partnering with a similar sort of startup called Ather. So with Hero and Ather coming together, we offer the largest charging infra across India. And the reason is we agreed to share technologies, which is I think it's one of the very rarest of rare example when large organizations come forward and be ready to share such sort of initiatives, their technologies with startups and come together and solve for it. Second, in terms of portfolio, I think we have decentralized the portfolio to a larger extent where we empower our internal employees to solve for innovation. And that's how something called Surge, which is world's first interchangeable 2-wheeler, 3-wheeler sort of vehicle. Please go back and read a bit about it. It's an amazing concept, has come out. In terms of decarbonization, we have rolled a solution for micro-mobility as a shared services. The brand is called Fredo, and it's again internally incubated from employees, which has come up. So partnership is one. Second is strengthening the internal employees to solve for the solutions because they know it better. And in terms of portfolio. And the third one, I would say, the thing that has helped us over a period of time is also being open to be learn from different industries altogether. It's just not, we are not taking our inspirations from just automobile industry. The inspiration can come from anywhere, and that's where Surge example can come. The recent work that my team personally is doing, a lot of examples are coming from cross-industry collaborations. And these 3 things, I think, from a cultural aspect, it's very important to do that cross-industry collaboration. So those 3 things I would count is really the driving force behind the work that we are trying to do.
I think that's quite interesting that, this time the conversations are not just about finding the right technologies that can work with the business units, but I like how both of you are also touching on manpower and the right talent and retaining that right talent and making sure that they feel valued and that their expertise is actually something that can be it can be implemented very well and integrated into your existing corporate manpower as well. So I guess I also wanted to touch on exploring the transformative impact. So quite often, decarbonization does require a departure from traditional business models. So what I'd like to ask is, how have corporate startup partnerships helped to rethink or redefine your approach to innovative sustainability?
Maybe I'll pick an example that's close to Utkarsh. I didn't think we'd find an example that is shared between our industries, but he mentioned the smog in Delhi. So the smog happens because around Delhi is the rice growing region. It's one of the largest rice growing regions in India. And in order for our rice farmers to plant potato crop, they have to burn the stubble because they don't have that harvesting window is super short. And one of the innovations that we are focused on in the region is what we call direct seeded rice. So essentially it's direct mechanizing planting the rice instead of flooding the field. So of course there's that water savings, greenhouse gas, less methane emissions. But there's also that aspect of you don't have to burn because you can harvest early, which hopefully helps the broader Delhi community, I would say, in the next 5 years. At the same time, we are starting to see that when farmers plant their next crop, potatoes, that you have better soils and have actually better quality potatoes. So I think there's a lot of things when you're innovating that you don't see the system's benefit around. You only see the step 3, step 4 later on in time. And so I think what startups have helped us is really helping us develop deeper technologies when it comes to soil health, or helping us essentially accelerate some of our Horizon 2, Horizon 3 type of innovations where we actually need to start now. But we're so focused on scaling Horizon 1 that we need to partner for that. At the same time, there's many partnerships. I mean, in this segment, again, in rice, we work with 200 agri-entrepreneurs providing the mechanization services. I think they're also startups, right? They're all entrepreneurs, very local, very regional. We work with local food companies, local traders. So there's many types. So in rice, we work from anyone as large as a Rabobank type of institution to all of those individual entrepreneurs. And so I think the creativity to think beyond what is a startup, what's an agri-entrepreneur, is also super important. And we give them the same relationship, the same status in the company, whether you are doing our mechanized seed drill, you're our partner, versus a big corporate like, let's say, a Rabobank. And I think that's also important.
For us, a lot of startups have come on both sides of the value chain, whether it's upstream or downstream for the entire industry. For example, someone solving us the recyclability of battery that we are using. What's the second line, third line of uses of battery? We are doing a couple of very good work on reusability of battery in a longer duration, which is on the other side once the battery has came back to the system. But in India, the large EV ecosystem is very new. So for you to have that large amount of batteries coming back to the ecosystem, you have to spend some time. So other than that, what we are trying with startup are connected. So there is a term called CASE. Those who know the automobile industry will also understand. C stand for connected, A is autonomous, S is secure. For me, as beyond secure, which is the cyber security, I also call it sustainable. So that's my personal abbreviation. And E stand for electric. So the entire use case of this case is where we work very closely with these startups, especially the autonomous vehicles, the connected vehicles, where you just want to maybe see where your vehicle is with the help of the iWatch that you are wearing in terms of locations and all that. So these sort of features, while as you said, these sort of features are good to have in a longer horizon, but not must have from your consumer lens. So your business teams won't be solving it. You need someone especially to come and solve these niche areas, and that's where we work very closely with all of the startups. Second collaboration that we did, that for all our functional units, which are direct to product, let's say product team, R&D team, our global marketing insight teams, we had very clearly asked them what are the insights that you want to solve for H1 and H2 that you please carry on with your day-to-day work, and we will collaborate with you only for H3 and partially H2, which goes beyond 3-5 years as a product cycle plan. So that's where a lot of these collaboration is happening from our industry.
So what I'm hearing is, I think it seems that Horizon 1, check, very easy, lots of SOPs.
In progress, not in check.
But at least from everything that I've read online, it's just what both of you are working on in terms of just making sure these startup technologies at a higher tiara levels are really relevant to your core businesses. It really shows to me that your Horizon 1 innovations is very well done. And perhaps I wanted to check on maybe if you're looking forward on Horizon 2, Horizon 3 technologies and looking forward. Do you see an evolving nature of the kind of partnerships you would look for if you were trying to work with startups in those 2 and 3 horizons?
I would say in the Horizon 2 and Horizon 3, I think for Ag, the things we're looking for are really more deep tech around soil health and more climate resiliency. And I think we're taking the position of how do you make sure your crop is resilient in this super fast changing, the cycles are really getting shorter, the La Nina, El Nino cycles. So how do you make sure everything is just more resilient? I would say in a traditional model, how we as buyer would typically do that is we would acquire the IP, right? I don't know, maybe the startups could tell us what they need. I feel that the acquiring of IP model in deep tech is probably not the way to go, but I don't know what that model could look like. I think as a corporate, we're super open. For us, it's really about solving the problem. So I think just be open with us and have an open discussion about what that collaboration could look like.
For us, it's from sandbox to the product directly. So if you are a startup which has proven the POC in a different timeline, then all 3-4 options that we use, like whether it's you can directly become our supplier for a long time, volume agreement suppliers. You can also go beyond becoming a suppliers, and if the startups are open, we can look for equi-hire sort of where they will be based out of our R&D centers, continue their work, but obviously will have a certain environment to work directly with our research teams. The third one is pretty simple acquisitions, or probably the JVs that we are very, I would say, inclined towards the way we are working with Harley or Zero or Aether. All of these are by equity investment modes. All these 3 are for probably, I'd say, where the longer duration of outcomes are that you have that vision of looking for a longer duration, but we also have use cases where it's falling under unknown bucket. Right now, we don't know what results is going to happen, and for those, there is a separate team which keeps on doing POCs to understand what's the TRL, what will happen once those TRL will be implemented with the product, and what could be the expected outcome, just to ensure that we know the technology and its whereabouts, how to plug it in the larger game.
I'll try to squeeze in one last question, and maybe this could just be something to think about for the rest of the audience. So if you had to leave our audience with one piece of advice, maybe one for startups and one for corporates, what would your advice be regarding corporate startup partnerships with respect to decarbonizing a corporate's business units or processes?
So for corporates, I would say a closer collaboration with regulatory bodies. I do think, typically as corporates, we don't want to be just regulators, but I would say, especially in decarbonization, especially in nature-based credits, I do think that the government has a role to play to increasing the trust a little bit more to help accelerate that whole ecosystem. For startups, I think just be open. One of the things we've really like doing as well is more, instead of more of a supplier relationship where there's a fee for a certain service or collaboration, we would like to work with startups where we're revenue sharing or value sharing. So I think like just having that openness to discuss that with us, I know it doesn't work in all cases when you're pressed for cash as a startup, but I think that for us, it really has skin in the game where we share that and we can then look forward towards creating a shared value together.
I think for corporate, I'm still learning. My corporate is still learning. So maybe the only advice is be as open as you can when it comes to startups and don't treat them just because you have 10,000 workforce and they have 10. Don't think that they are the one who can be suppressed. But that is one learning that I keep telling internally to my team. So maybe that's one thing. For startups, I think most of the one thing that I feel which is missing in most of the time is their customers' feedback and their customers' validation. You have a concept, very good. Please go back and test it with certain set of customers. Before you come to a supplier or before you come to directly a partner, because then it gives you a validation that your customer also wants it. And then it also gives us some sort of, I would say, some sort of confidence in the solution. That yes, it's desirable while we are obviously we check for feasibility and scalability. The desirability factor is also get checked. So maybe just these two.
Thank you so much again, Rosalind and Utkarsh. If anyone from the audience, later on in the summit, if you want to know more about a lot of the exciting projects or the exciting startups that they've been working with, please feel free and do not hesitate to approach either of them. They have tremendous number of stories as well. Maybe let's give them a round of applause as well.
All right. Thank you very much, panel, for that wonderful panel that we had today. It was really, really informative, and I really liked what they were talking about. It's really interesting to see that, one is from farming and the other is from mobility, and they kind of face similar challenges in terms of decarbonization. Now, we will be moving on to the second half of our segment today, which is startup pitches. Now, the startups that are presenting today are startups that have participated in our programs before, and are part of our portfolio of invested companies in the APAC office. So without further ado, allow me to introduce the first startup pitch for today, which would be James from Stratio Technology. James, can we please have you up on stage, please?
All right, so where's my slide? Hello everyone, I'm James Lee from Stratio. I actually live in the US and also from South Korea, so I do have offices in 2 countries. So left side is for my Korean office, right side is for the US office. So we got funding for various applications we're working on. I'm not going to talk about that right now. I want to skip everything. I just want to show you one demo who could be a good application, a good example of what you're thinking about. So in short, we are infrared sensor company. So sustainable community, why we're talking about the infrared? Because with the infrared, you can actually see a lot of things. You can sort out plastic. You can also see the carbon level from the soil, so many things. So I'm going to skip everything. And I just want to focus on one demo slide. And maybe after that, I'll come back for something. So these 4 areas are what we are working on at Stratio. The first one, I have only one demo for this amount of time that we can spend here. So let's look at the fabric detection. So we make a prototype for the SWIR spectroscopy, or spectral sensor. With this, we're able to differentiate 17 types of fabric without a failure. Our accuracy is over 95%. If you want to buy any sensor like this outside, you probably have to spend at least $7,000 for 1 unit. You can go down to $500 if you buy 1 million unit. Our sensor is less than $50. And as you can see from this demo, it's working pretty well.
It's not only the fabric. You can actually differentiate all type of plastic. We have the demo for that. Our accuracy for the differentiating plastic is more than 99%. And also, you can see the lot of water contents from various beverages too. So these are one example I can show in front of the 3-minute pitch that I can have. But if you're interested, please let us know. You can reach us in various way. So this is our contact information, jameslee@stradiotechnology.com. So please let me know. I will also be around in the booth, so let us know if you find our spectral sensor application useful. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much, James, for that really, really quick pitch. So just for the audience, we will be having a series of 3-minute pitches. So you would not be able to hear all the details, but rest assured, they are really exciting startups. So if you are interested in their technologies, please head down to the booth or grab their time below. All right, next up, we are going to be having Monica Kim from Saysiol Tech. Monica, please.
Hello everyone, we are Saysiol Tech. Guess, how many people do you think die on the road? 1.4 million per year. It's a staggering number. That's not it. While charging, electric vehicles fire 18%. While driving, 29%. Security hacking can be done. New York City traffic system can be frozen up to 20%. All these problems can be prevented in advance with technology. We have a dream that one day we will reach the zero car accident on the road that is caused by technology. V2X can reach that goal. What is V2X? V2X is vehicle to everything. As you can see, it connects everything that exists on the road. The biggest benefit of V2X is real-time communication. We provide 3 key products. Security module. It verifies infrastructure data with encrypted messages, ultra-fast and accurate. Server. It connects public infrastructure with trust authentication, open cloud native. Conformance test system, which is automated that reduces human errors. Saysiol V2X is much faster, more accurate, and more protected than exists in the market. To name a few of our success stories, we have worked with LG Electronics OEM project, globally recognized test system company, Keysight Technologies, etc. We have other competitors, but Saysiol Tech is only one who provides holistic ecosystem coverage. Our business model consists of 3. First, B2B. We work with OEM Tier 1, connected cars, and drone. Solution developers, such as traffic agencies, infrastructure operators. Solution providers, then middleware, semiconductor, and security products developers. We founded 2021. We are seeking 2.2 million in Series B within 2024 with those 40 people together. So please join us in creating a safer, smarter future for transportation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Monica, for that pitch. Up next, surprisingly, the name Monica seems to be synonymous with the founder. We have another Monica Chang from Insignature Technologies. Monica, please.
Hi, Insignature. Yeah. Insignature, we synergize energy and IoT with intelligence. I'm Monica, too. Okay, so the problem is, as we know, do you know the power consumption is grows very faster than ever before, than an average 2% yearly. So we find the problem is the demand for energy usage is keeping growth, but the diverse technology integration is very complex, especially for energy management. It's very complex, it's very expensive. So the problem is the microgrid can only use for energy backup, or the energy saving can only achievable by equipment replacements, or is there any more intelligent way to achieve the energy efficiency goal? Therefore, we will provide the solutions. We provide intelligence dispatching energy solutions at one stop and for microgrid. We utilize AIs and technologies for energy saving and carbon reductions. For our products, we can reach lower carbons, higher dispatch, and more intelligent. For what we do, the one-stop platform, we like a brand. We can integrate, we can monitor the energies between the power grids, solar storage, or the power consumption equipments like chillers. We can dispatch all the energy equipment very efficiently in our one platform. So why us? Why choose us? We have more than 16 years experience, especially focused on IoT and energy experts. Besides that, the one-stop platform, we provide more than 20 kinds of solutions, and we support more than 800 sensors. Besides that, we have successful cases for over 900 worldwide. So we have a lot of cases in the campus, factory, and the buildings like hospitals. So through our system, through our platform, we can achieve the AI-driven energy solution above 30%. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Monica. Next up, we have our very own portfolio company, Keck, who is the founder of Ant-Built. Keck, please.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Cakes. So I am the co-founder of Ansview.com. So obviously we are dealing with equipments. So what are we dealing with? The equipments are those construction equipment or industrial equipments, whatever is rotating. Right, so why we started this, right? Just look into this, right? 140 billions of equipment rentals per annum globally. Right, less than 1% or even just merely 1% actually digitalized, means it's rented online. So just imagine 10 or 15 years back, right, how you rent a hotel and how today you are renting hotels, right? So that's opportunities. So how are we going to solve it? It's pretty much simple. So what are we going to do is we are making the equipment rental as simple as you are booking a hotel rooms. So just search, compare, and rent in just a few clicks. Why online is better than the traditional ways, right? Traditionally, you have to call, emails, or even text them to get a code, and it could take you some weeks, right? Right now, we are able to solve it just within a few clicks. So by doing online rental, you're able to discover the best rental rate for the user, right? The user is able to rent as short as 1 day, very flexible rental durations. And super transparent and very fast and easy. And on top of that, we could integrate insurance into the equipment to protect the user during the rental period. And we are a marketplace, so we not just solve one side, but another side as well, which is a supplier as well. It's getting competitive nowadays because it's so transparent, right? The way how we are using a salesman to actually get a sales is no longer works. Right? So what we do is we are the new tools for them to market their product more effectively. We're increasing their utilizations. We guarantee the rental payment, one of the biggest issues in the industry. And last but not least, we actually have the insurance to cover back-to-back for the equipments together for the user and for the partners as well. So we are just getting started. The industry is huge. So we started with the rentals platforms, and then we integrate the buy and sell platform together as well. Because just for information, right, rental and buy and sell is actually parallel. If you're a rental company, you're actually doing buy and sell for the second hand or even the new equipment as well. So by hooked on the platform, you are able to open up 2 channels instead of just 1 channel. Yeah, and and on top of that, right, we are going to Shopify it, right? We just launched a web store that we are able to help thousands of rental company or even equipment trading company to actually get their business online, right? It's just like Grab Foods that's actually helping all the restaurant or cafe to get a business online. But just we are in a different industry. This is how we grow. We have 7,000 of equipment listing. We have 1,000 paid customer. We are in Singapore and Malaysia, and also we have 500 plus of partners joining us. One of the things is we have 50% of repeated order rate, right? So what does it mean is when somebody come onto our platform and rent it, so there's no way turn back. This is our team. We are supporting by the 13 people, and also we are very lucky supported by the good investor as well, including Plug and Play. Last but not least, right, what we're going to do is we are making 1,000 equipment just 1 click away. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kek, for that wonderful presentation. Up next, we have another very, very interesting startup called Nature Things, and this is founded by Ms. Nalini. Nalini, please.
Hi everyone, we're Nature Things and we believe every building deserves nature. In the past 6 months alone, Nature Things has led the way with some of very cutting edge names in corporate, hospitality, builder and property real estate spaces to profile over 1 million square feet of space from a nature lens. We've configured over 30 plus sites for optimal nature, and currently we're managing over 120,000 worth of annual contracts with 1 contract renewal under our belt, heading speedily towards our 1 million goal for next year. Why are these leaders trusting Nature Things? These leaders understand that nature integration is critical to manage the 39% emissions that buildings bring to the table, so sustainability charter. Secondly, the occupant well-being is highly dependent on this critical lever as well. But the problem is, it is complex to get started and it's extremely expensive to maintain. It is a $257 billion challenge faced by an outdated industry. The traditional service providers whose currently our competition are highly inefficient, unable to meet these evolving needs of the new age customer. The customer is seeking ROI beyond aesthetics in form of impact, and they're dealing with complex solutions which are labor intensive and inconsistent, leading to the high expense. So Nature Things is bringing an AI IoT enabled SaaS platform in form of an early digital twin to the table. What we do is take nature spaces online and help profile, plan, manage this most high return asset at the client's fingertips. How we do it? Using hardware, SaaS, AI, big data models, and 3D visualization, we are able to profile the site for optimal nature footprint. We then configure, using our models, what can be the optimal amount and type of nature that the client can adapt, leading them to then take this to their stakeholders and vendors for deployment. And lastly, we help them manage these sites, giving them a glide path to cost efficiency, as well as growing their impact over time. With subscriptions that are highly scalable across sites and across geographies, we help our clients easily deploy Nature Things at 1 or multiple sites. Asset light and built to scale, our technology has partnered with some leading property management companies, hospitality partners, as well as built environment consults to potentially roll out across multiple infrastructure, leading the path to smart city offtake. Today, we're starting out in Singapore as our lead market, and we intend to be in global markets very soon, tapping into a $335 billion market ready for disruption, built by business, built environment, and deep tech leaders. We are now raising our first formal financing to help build out the product and get our early team on board. Our vision is to bring billion square feet space and 1 billion people closer to nature on a daily basis. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nalini, for that wonderful presentation. Up next, we are going to have Mr. Radha from Safe Air to give a very wonderful presentation about a startup that we are very excited about. Let us now put our hands together to invite Mr. Radha up on stage.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Very good afternoon to all of you. I hope you had a good lunch. So, 8 million lives lost, 8 billion people impacted, and $8 trillion lost every year. And this is the story of air pollution. But unfortunately, no one cares. Not that they don't care about the life or the money lost, but because they don't see a clear ROI, they don't care about it as yet. So which is where we as Safe Air are looking to see how we can drive financial ROI for end users, clients, through air quality data. And what we do is we give a combination of device, a platform, integration, as well as actionable outcomes to drive financial ROI for the clients. So how are we different from existing solution providers? We give clear, actionable insights on what the client needs to do to address the air pollution or the problem at hand. We give them predictive solutions to understand what they can expect and how they can tackle it. And also, it's a completely integrated solution and not a standalone silo for them to deal with. So our strength is a full stack solution that we offer. So the main thing is our advanced analytics platform, which helps drive energy efficiency, better air quality, and better productivity. How do we do it? With IoT sensors and also an intuitive app. Our sensors can be as little as this one, measuring about 16 parameters for you to easily access and see what's going on in the facility. And then we also address the UN SDG goals that are there. So we check a lot of boxes for that as well. Here's an example of a snapshot of our dashboard, where we can see, on the right-hand side, we have an example of an unoccupied room driven by data again, based on which we can trigger a recommendation and an action to save energy because there are no people in the space. And on the other side, we have a situation where the air quality has gone very bad, probably due to overpopulation within the room. And there we can drive better air quality and better productivity for the people in the space. Did you guys know that an average CO2 level of over 3,000, which is very common in most indoor spaces, is equivalent to your cognitive functions working as low at the stage where you would be drunk? So you're practically drunk without being drunk. And this is a study that's come quite recently. So at the end, what is the impact that we are driving? So we help reduce energy costs by at least 10%, reduce your carbon emissions, and also increase productivity. We also have a significant market validation with collaborations, partners, certification, and early adopters. We have two pricing models, a direct sale as well as a subscription option. And we have a strong plan to reach at least 100 mil. And our SOM is about 1 billion per year. We have a strong team with each person contributing with their domain expertise. And our ask is for $500,000 for all of our growth and expansion plans. I'll leave you with, on our planet, we all start with a simple gift. We can breathe, and let's make our breath count. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Radha, for the wonderful presentation. All right, so next up we have Mr. Enghwat from Grow Lights. Can we put our hands together to welcome him on stage, please?
A very good afternoon to everybody. I'm Enghwat from Grow Light here. So, as you know, Grow Light, this name stands for the special class of LED, LED that's specially for growing plant. So in our case here, we will be focusing more on the plants using less energy to grow more plant. So as you know, indoor farm is actually the future of agriculture, correct? Because with all the climate changes and so on, it's actually very difficult to produce enough food for us. So, but the problem with indoor farm is that Grow Light actually is used to provide, we are created to provide digital solutions for energy efficiency and crop use enhancement. And our solution is to provide a control that allows us to plug and play into all types of indoor farm. In indoor farm, there are many problems. The biggest problem, of course, is energy usage. Right? With the increase of cost in energy all around the world, you will realize that indoor farm cannot sustain. About 70% of the indoor farms use the electricity for the lighting. The rest go to the environment and so on. So with the 70% of the cost in lighting, it's often difficult to reach a big even in the operation cost. So, and at the same time, the indoor farms are often not optimized in the form of their yield. You see, the light could be optimized so that it could shorten the growing cycle and you can have more growing cycle per year. And also, every country and many countries in this world are beginning to include carbon tax. Hence, carbon footprint monitoring is very important. And we will want to do that with our system. So for us, we will introduce AI-driven efficiency LED system for sustainable crop grown. In our systems, we are able to produce, first of all, reduce the lighting energy usage by 30%. Okay. At the same time, we will increase the yield by 20% through shortening the growing cycle. And at the same, and we can also monitor the carbon footprint with total fully automated AI system. So this is some of our work here, and currently we are out of the POC and also toward the end of our POV system, and we are able to test for majority of the leafy vegetables together with high-value crops such as strawberry, blueberries, and herbs. So this is our collaboration company, which mostly consists of farm as well as some of the major institutes in Singapore. Okay, so we are looking for different partners as well as investors to try our system on to ensure that we will continue to be plug-and-play system. Thank you.
Thank you, Eng-Huat, for presenting on Grow Lights. Now let's move on to the next startup, Earth. So this will be presented by Mr. Mo Tarek, and he has come all the way from Malaysia to present about this startup. Let's put our hands together to welcome him on stage, shall we?
All the way from Malaysia, very far. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm from Earth Electronic Recycling Through Heroes, and we are backed by the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Malaysia. According to the 2024 Global E-Waste Monitor, the world produces 62 million tons of e-waste per year, which has a market value of $91 billion US. So it is actually quite strange that only 22.3% of that is formally collected and recycled. If you look at e-waste value per ton recycled, it's at least 10 times more than other recyclable materials. So we think that this actually needs to change. 5 years ago, we decided to create a digital platform that allows regular citizens to enlist into our platform to help us collect e-waste that is nearby to them. They actually earn an income from that, and then when we receive those items in large quantities, we're able to grade them, grade A, reusable, grade B, repairable, and grade C, recyclable. 70% of what we collect is, of course, grade C, so we hand it over to licensed processors, while grade A and grade B, we're able to generate a very, very good margin. So basically, we have more than 1,000 heroes that have enlisted on our platform. From one single branch, we can run up to 100 tons per month, and this is a very decentralized solution to a decentralized problem. This is an example of a collection we did from the UN office in Cyberjaya. So this kind of volume, if you call the processor direct, it's too small. They're never going to send you the lorry. But our heroes basically go there, collect these small quantities, aggregate them in our warehouse, and then we call the processor. They're always very happy to come and collect in big quantities. This is Kuala Lumpur map. This is the collections we do in 1 month. So as you can see, it's quite dense. And once you offer free pickup, so basically it becomes very easy. It becomes even better than throwing it in a trash can because it's as easy, but you actually get paid for your items. So it's very convenient for businesses and households. We've worked with more than 20,000 customers, including some of the world's biggest companies, DHL, NTT, all the big banks. Recently, we launched a partnership with the National Postal Service where you can also ship your stuff to us free of charge. We basically also the fulfillment partner of a telco in Malaysia for their e-waste take-back program. So it's actually zero cost to them. So how many ESG things that you know have zero cost? So basically, we give them ESG data, they give us free users, and everybody's happy. The same thing happened with the Selangor state government. So Selangor state has 7 million residents, so the state government saw what we did with Maxis And they were like, okay, we want to do the same, and now we are the official e-waste collection partner for the whole state. Occasionally, we have schools asking for our refurbished materials for their computer labs. So in this case, we're able to donate to them free of charge. So we've collected the equivalent of 50 Boeing 737s, and our heroes earn 50% more than Grab, and we're the market leader in Malaysia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mo. All right, so now we have our next startup, which is APAC, and this one's all the way from Korea. And let's now put our hands together to welcome Jae Ho from APAC.
Nice to meet you guys. My name is Jae Ho, CSO of APAC Strategy. We aim for real smart city by high tech. It means there are many high technology, right? So technology makes our lives very convenient. But except one thing, the waste cannot change yet. So we make this kind of AI-based robots. So we want to change this people's job to robots. This is kind of software part. We use data image labeling system and multiple algorithms to recognize recyclables well. We can sort by that system and kind of plastics. It means PE, PP, PET, and aluminum cans and glasses as well. After 2020, we already registered more than 10 patents, so we have some kind of advantages of technology. And in South Korea, during 2 years, we already installed more than 20 units. And nowadays, we make this kind of modular type to export. So this model to put the ship container. This is our final goal, to change this world. This is unmanned MRF. So if we use more than 20 and 30 robots, and then this facility can treat more than 3 times more than before one. Market analysis. This industry grows steadily, but the robot industry grows very rapidly. There are more than 10 competitors in the world, and we have some kind of advantages of patents, know-how, and kind of technology legacy. We want to go spread. Singapore is a very important country because it's a hub country to go Southeast Asia, and we'll search to Middle East and European country. Now we are searching some partner to open this market. And end of next year, we'll do IPO, and the team is expert. More than 50 members and 6 divisions to do this vision. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jae Ho, for that amazing pitch just now. All right, so next up we have Dr. Gautam from Hydrogen, and they'll be presenting today about their startup, which is a low-cost green hydrogen for the future of the world. Dr. Gautam, please.
Thank you. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gautam, Chief Technology Officer of this Hydrogen Innovation Private Limited, and this is a spin-off company from the National University of Singapore. So our goal is actually to produce green hydrogen with a mass level so that most of the people can adopt this decarbonization practice. So we are we are located at the Cleantech, and we are spin-off from National University of Singapore. Our mission and vision is to produce green hydrogen by using the electrolysis technology at the rate of $2 per kg, and that is the magic number we are looking. So the problem we are already familiar. So this is the facing climate crisis, and that is one of the decarbonization we need it. But why it is not happening? Because most of the processes emit carbon dioxide, particularly hydrogen. Every kg of hydrogen production from fossil fuel give 10 kg of carbon dioxide, and that is the biggest threat for the current scenario. And that's why we need to produce the green hydrogen which can solve this problem. But why we are not able to solve now? So that either the technology is not efficient or technology is more expensive. So we have currently two technologies, namely called alkaline and membrane-based technology. So both has their own challenges. One is the inefficient, other one actually expensive. So here actually we come to bring our technology, which is we are bringing the hydrogen production at the fast production rate with high purity, and also at the same time with lower capex costs. More than 50% cost of the membrane-based technology we can reduce. So we have our own patented technology in terms of the product design, which is the electrolyzer, and that can be produced hydrogen at the rate of around $2 per kg when the electricity of the green electricity available. So this electrolyzer is actually more based on the sustainable materials, so we minimize the supply chain risks. This is a high purity hydrogen production ready to use, and also it is a modular, so we can produce gram of hydrogen to tons of hydrogen whenever required. So we have different type of products. So namely, if I have a 10 kilowatt product, it can produce 5 kg of hydrogen, and that can serve the small industry. Whereas to serve the biggest industry, we are launching the bigger modular size that can serve where steel industry or ammonia industry or even the other refinery sector who need the hydrogen everyday tons of, kgs or tons of hydrogen. So the market is really heavy. Currently, all the government institute, they're giving the incentive to adopt this green hydrogen technology. Whatever the installation happened this last 3 years, this year itself, same amount of electrolyzer deployment happened. In fact, to achieve the net zero by 2050, we need to wrap up 5 times more deployment. And that's why here it is a huge opportunity for everyone to adopt this electrolyzer technology, produce the hydrogen from water. The market currently we are looking in Asia itself $1 billion, which can go to $10 billion by 2030. And we are very low cost, so cost competitive. At the same time, we are also giving actually high terms of efficiency. So this is possible because of our team. So we have our team like in the complementary domain in terms of the technology and also business. And with that, I want to thank, you want to come our booth actually, booth number 45, to get more details with this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gautam, for the presentation. All right, so up next, we have one of our very own portfolio companies. The company is called Transitory, and it's co-founded by our dear friend, Mr. Navarun. Navarun, please.
Thank you. Hi, this is Navarun, co-founder CEO of Transitory. Good afternoon, everyone. So Transitory is a sustainability risk management platform. We are your one-stop shop for managing your sustainability projects. Now, what we have seen through our interactions with most of our clients is that 86% of the projects, they lack efficient governance when it comes to data and when it comes to managing the sustainability projects. And this directly leads to lesser commitment in terms of funds going into these projects. There's also risks associated with operations of these projects, and there is no proper planning. Now, what do we bring to the table is that we design your project, we understand your value chain, we incorporate within your value chain. We don't want to disrupt it. Then we have a process to measure the impact, meaning that when it comes to soil-based, agriculture or agroforestry-based projects, we have our proprietary way of measuring the carbon content in the soil. And essentially, we are also automating the process of internal reporting, external stakeholder management, audits, as well as claims and certifications. Now, what you see here is a platform as a service. Everything that you see as a solution is what we provide. Whatever you see as platform services, these are pick and choose as you want, and this is very modular in nature. Now, when it comes to competitiveness, I would say that, as I mentioned, we get on the ground with you as a partner and design the project with you, meaning that we are basing everything on the first-party data, which is very different from any other competitor in the market. We also have a predictive model which will allow you to understand 18 months into the future what will be the scenario. This allows you to plan better. And finally, we are developing a price imbalance model internally which will help you determine the price fluctuations in the assets that you're dealing with when it comes to sustainability. Now, what you get is a package of these three different elements. The first one is the measurement, reporting, verification. Then the next part is the risk mapping with the insights, and the last part is the climate action, which is the climate claims, the certifications, the auditing. So as a client, you get to, again, choose which parts do you need, or do you need all three of them, and we can enable it all. And just a snapshot of what we have achieved so far. So we've been working with clients like Michelin, Veolia, Sapa, and Grey Giant Foods. And essentially, we've been very fortunate to have these great brands associate with us. We also have a project in India which is now eligible for carbon credit issuance, 6.5 million credits over a period of 15 years, which is the total crediting period. And we are ready to sell these credits as well. So we are a pre-seed company having raised $640,000 with Plug and Play being one of our investors as well. This is the core team. So I come from a background in mechanical engineering. We've got Vishan on the product. Rakesh specializes in GHG monitoring, reporting, verification. Professor So specializes in financial engineering. So with that, I would request whoever feels that this is relevant, we can connect and we can have a discussion later. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Navarun. All right, so next up we have Justin from Willog. Justin, can I have you on stage, please? Come on, guys, give him a round of applause.
Good afternoon. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Justin from Global Sales at Willow. So who are we? We are the asset tracking solution startup in South Korea. We have founded in 2021. It's only a 3-year-old startup, but we were fortunate enough to secure the good amount of tracking from customers in Korea. We hit 1.5 million ARR last year, and 50 plus paying customers. So our startup started from the problems. So if you lay out the whole logistic in Windows, there are multiple stakeholders involved, and then length of time, distance is longer, and when things get problem, you have a lack of transparency to pinpoint the root cause of the issue and the accountability. So that converting in the dollar perspective, $6 billion losses in annual, the high value goods, $35 billion losses in the biopharma, and $990 billion losses in fresh food. So these are the huge amount of dollars, and company cannot afford to bleeding this amount of money. So ever since we established, we were able to acquire 50 plus paying customers, some of the internationally recognizable brand logos that you can see here. And we were also raised pre-Series B size, August last year, $12 million from the Korean investors. And then our story goes on. So these are some of the crucial parameters that we are tracking. So the temperature, humidity, and shock and chill locations. So we provide these parameter data to helping our customer better managing their operations. How we do it? We using the IoT-led hardware trackers to actually collecting the parameters and using the SaaS platform. So what we differentiated from other players in the market, the three things. Device, we have an in-house design and development done by ourselves. So we control the quality and control the cost. And then software, we do putting a standardization for all different customers. And we are aiming to a full stack data point company. That's our ultimate goal. So we see a lot of international, the recognizable customers' feedback. They eliminate the unnecessary paperwork. The reporting management streamlines, and then they build the solid end customers. So these are the two of our founders, Ben and Daniel, who knows the market, who knows the pain points, so they know how to improve it. So we have 60 relogos working for now. 70% of them are all engineers. So we are trying to make our foothold outside of Korea. The Singapore is definitely the go-to market that we are aiming for now. Yeah, thank you for your listening.
Thank you very much for the presentation, Justin. All right, so next up we have Stephen from APAC. Now this is again one of our portfolio companies which Plug and Play has co-led in the past. Justin? Sorry, my bad, my apologies. Stephen, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. APAC is in the circular economy, climate tech, and new materials space. We upcycle byproducts of food production and agricultural waste to make it into a unique material with special characteristics. Our mission is to replace 1 billion units of single-use packaging products by the year 2030. Let me tell you how we will go about accomplishing our mission. For a start, give you some background. Various studies have shown that whether it's aluminum or plastic packaging products causes potential harm to the environment and human bodies. At APAC, we have developed a plant fiber-based material with unique characteristics that has proven to be a credible and viable alternative to aluminum and plastic packaging products. Our solution is scalable, sustainable, and superior. The APAC solution is compatible with existing molded paper pulp manufacturing machines, which allows us for easy scalability. We are not competing with the food industry for raw materials because agricultural waste and byproduct of food production is found in abundance. Our solution is superior. It has wide temperature tolerance. Current generation is able to take -18 to 260 degrees Celsius, and we have received certification, PFAS-free, 100% home compostable, microwave and food contact safe. Our R&D team is already working on the next generation that has even higher temperature tolerance, going on direct flames. Right, the water is boiling. We are also working on a steamable version where it can take wet reheating. With enhanced dry and wet reheating capabilities, our material can be deployed on board for all in-flight catering meals. I don't have time to show you other videos. Please look for me later on. Oh, click, click, click. Yeah, okay. Customers who have adopted the APAC solution report much better positive customer user experience. Right, and in supermarkets in Singapore, our products are already being deployed for higher-end organic fruits and vegetables. Currently, we are in 3 business verticals. In the F&B industry, various cutlery and packaging for takeaway food, supermarket trays and containers for fruits and vegetables, also going to deploy into fresh meats and seafood products. We have ventured into the medical field where we're going to apply our materials to replace single-use plastic products. Combined market value of aluminum and plastic packaging will be more than US $80 billion by the year 2030. We're going to capture all the packaging for airlines catering meals and replace trays in the supermarkets. Right, within the core team, we have more than 70 years of experience. Karen, our founder, and you can see that it's well represented by both females and males. We have won various awards locally, internationally. Right, we're currently raising $1.6 million to scale up capabilities. Please contact me, my details are here. Looking forward to having a deeper conversation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stephen, for that amazing presentation. Now, we have come to the last startup for today, Sustainable Cities segment, which is Ultimeet. And from Ultimeet, we have Mr. Sam. Sam, can we have you up on stage, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sam. I'll be presenting to you Ultimeet. So Ultimeet is a biotech-driven company, biotech-driven nutri-science company. Our mission is to produce healthy food ingredients using sustainable proteins called microproteins. So we know that plant proteins is the better options for sustainability, but it comes with its own limitations, the long production cycles, it is vulnerable to climate changes, its over-processings. With our proprietary technology in fermentations, we can actually produce microproteins and turn them into food products in just 7 days. So everything is in a controlled environment, so we can ensure a sustainable food production cycle. And we have trademarked our microprotein called Noshrooms, stands for nourishing mushrooms. This is our nourishing mushrooms. So it's high in protein, high in fiber. So more importantly, if we compare to the traditional protein sources in the food industries, Noshrooms not only high in protein, but it contains very high fibers. Fibers in Noshroom is very important because this is beta-1316 glucan, the active ingredients for postbiotic, which means that it can induce the immune system. So by incorporating Noshrooms in food products, it can give a functional health benefits for the products itself. And I'm very happy to share that we are going to launch our own high-protein powdered shakes, much more, in December. So we're going to launch this in Europe. We made 500,000 last year and the year before. We expect a higher revenue next year onwards with the launch of much more in Europe. We are targeting 6 countries in Europe. We are going through funding rounds. We are asking for 5 million. We have 2 million secured, and that will help us to launch much more in Europe. Sales, marketing, brandings. We are asking for additional 3 millions. 3 millions will help us in terms of R&D for fermentations as well as product developments. We are developing beverage. We are the first microprotein company developing beverage. This will also help us in terms of increasing our production capacity as well as team expansion. So these are the brains behind Ultimeet. We are at booth 51. Edwin and I will be very happy to talk to any one of you. Yeah. So we are an award-winning team. We won numerous awards. We are funded by Dana Impact as well as Cradle CIP Sprint. To recap, we are asking for 3 million to help us and scale our technology. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you very much, Sam, for that presentation. With that, we have come to the end of the Sustainable Cities segment. Can we have a huge round of applause for all the startups that are presented today? All right, so moving on, if you do like to get connected with any one of these startups, please feel free to reach out to any one of us personally or scan the QR code and our team will get you guys in touch with them. You can also head down to their booths downstairs, beside, and you can have a chat with the founders and take a look at their demos as well. Moving on, we will be going on to the next segment, which is the healthcare vertical. And to lead this segment, we will be having my very, very extremely talented colleague, Gladys Chua.